The restaurant was glowing with soft candlelight, laughter spilling from tables where couples leaned in close, speaking in hushed tones. Yet at one corner table, the silence was deafening. Emma sat with her hands folded neatly on her lap, her heart pounding as the man across from her adjusted his tie, cleared his throat, and glanced at the clock as if he were desperate for an excuse to leave. Her chest tightened when he finally spoke, his words as sharp as glass. "You're not what I was expecting. I don't think this is going to work." The clatter of dishes and the murmur of nearby conversations drowned out the sound of her breaking heart. In that moment, Emma felt the world shrink. Every insecurity she had buried deep came rushing to the surface. The years of being overlooked, of feeling invisible, of being told she wasn't enough. She had spent weeks preparing for this blind date, encouraged by a friend who swore the man was kind, generous, and looking for something real. But now, under the warm glow of chandeliers, all she could feel was rejection, humiliation, and the sting of tears threatening to fall. She reached for her glass of water, trying to steady her trembling hands, but the man had already stood up, left money on the table, and walked away without looking back. Before we go deeper into Emma's heartbreaking journey, take a moment right now. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in stories that remind us of the power of love and compassion, please like this video, share it with your friends, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to our channel, Kindness Stories. Your support helps us keep bringing such emotional stories to life. Emma sat frozen at the table, every sound in the room suddenly too loud, every gaze from strangers feeling like judgment. She wanted to disappear, to melt into the shadows. For once in her life, she had hoped for something different, something beautiful. Instead, she was left with an emptiness that felt cruelly familiar. She finally gathered her purse, whispered an apology to the waiter who hadn't done anything wrong, and stood to leave. But before she could walk out of the restaurant, fate intervened. A man in his late 30s, tall with a quiet strength about him, rose from another table. His presence was commanding yet gentle, the kind that made people turn their heads without him even trying. He had been watching, not in judgment but in empathy. He had seen everything, the rejection, the shame on her face, the way she struggled to hold herself together. And as Emma tried to slip past unnoticed, his voice stopped her. "Wait," he said softly, but with a firmness that made her turn. "I'll take her home." The words hung in the air, shocking in their simplicity yet profound in their weight. Emma blinked, unsure if she had heard him right. The man walked over, his expression warm, his eyes holding a depth that spoke of understanding. He wasn't pitying her, he was recognizing her pain, acknowledging her humanity in a way no one else had. His name was Daniel Carter, though Emma didn't know it yet. To the world, he was a successful CEO, a man who had built his company from nothing after years of struggle. But to his 6-year-old daughter, Lily, he was just Daddy. The man who braided her hair badly in the mornings, who sat with her through fevers, who read her bedtime stories with a voice that cracked when the mother she no longer had was mentioned. Daniel carried his own scars, invisible to most. His wife had died suddenly 3 years earlier, leaving him to navigate fatherhood and life alone. He knew what loneliness tasted like, what it felt like to walk into a room full of people and still feel unseen. That's why Emma's pain resonated with him so deeply. Emma hesitated, but something in Daniel's eyes told her she could trust him. She nodded silently. He offered his arm, not as a savior but as an equal, and together they stepped out into the night. The city was alive with the hum of traffic and neon lights, but Emma felt strangely safe. As they walked to his car, Daniel didn't ask intrusive questions or try to fill the silence with empty words. Instead, he let her breathe, let her feel. When they reached his car, a sleek black sedan, he opened the door for her, as if she were the most important person in the world. It was a small gesture, but it shattered the last of the humiliation she had carried out of that restaurant. On the drive, Emma found herself speaking. The words came slowly at first, then poured out like water breaking through a dam. She told him about growing up as the quiet one, the one who was always chosen last, about working 2 jobs to take care of her mother before she passed, about the loneliness that clung to her even in crowded rooms. Daniel listened, not once interrupting, his hand steady on the wheel, his silence more comforting than any words. When they arrived at her apartment building, Emma expected him to say goodbye. Instead, he turned off the engine and looked at her with sincerity. "Emma," he said softly, though she didn't remember telling him her name. "You deserve better than what happened tonight. Don't let one person's blindness make you doubt your worth." But tears filled her eyes again, but this time, they weren't from pain. They were from the shock of being seen, truly seen, for the first time in years. She whispered a thank you, her voice trembling, and he nodded before driving away. That night, Emma lay awake replaying his words. She didn't know why a stranger had cared enough to step in, but it stirred something inside her, something she thought she had lost hope. Over the next few weeks, fate seemed determined to weave their paths together. Daniel showed up at the coffee shop near her work one morning, his daughter Lily holding his hand, her eyes bright and curious. Emma smiled shyly at the little girl, who immediately declared, "Daddy, she looks like a princess." Emma laughed, the sound surprising even herself, and Daniel smiled at the sight. It became a pattern, accidental meetings that didn't feel accidental at all. A bookstore, a park, the same grocery store aisle. Each time, their conversations grew longer, warmer, more filled with a quiet intimacy that words alone couldn't explain. Daniel eventually invited her to dinner, not at a fancy restaurant but at his home. Emma hesitated until she met Lily again, who ran into her arms as if they had known each other forever. Over plates of pasta and laughter at Lily's stories, Emma felt something she hadn't in years: belonging. But love is never without its challenges. Emma struggled with doubt, questioning whether she was enough for a man like Daniel, whether she could step into the life of a single father without hurting his daughter. Daniel, too, wrestled with fear of opening his heart again, fear of loving someone only to lose them. Yet, each time fear tried to pull them apart, kindness pulled them back together. One evening, as autumn leaves fell like fire against the city streets, Daniel looked at Emma across the table. Lily was asleep upstairs, her soft breathing filling the silence of the house. Daniel reached across, took Emma's hand, and said words that made her heart stop. "The night I saw you in that restaurant, I thought I was just helping someone who needed a little kindness. But Emma, I realize now you helped me. You reminded me that love doesn't die with loss, that hope can find us even when we're not looking. And I don't ever want to let you walk away again." Emma's tears fell freely as she realized that what began as rejection had led her to something far more precious. She wasn't invisible. She wasn't unworthy. She was chosen, not out of pity, but out of love. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that kindness and second chances can change lives, please like this video, share it with others, comment your feelings, and subscribe to Kindness Stories. Your support helps us continue spreading hope through stories like this. And before you go, we'd love to know, have you ever experienced a moment when rejection led you to something better? Share your story in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Emma's journey began with heartbreak at a blind date, but it ended with a home filled with laughter, a little girl's love, and the arms of a man who chose her not because she was perfect, but because she was real. And sometimes being real is more than enough.